The Whisper Beneath, Secrets of the Haunted Tafrao Cave. Tucked away in the rugged mountains of Tafrao, a small Berber village held an unsettling secret. Among its many rocky formations and caves, there was one in particular that the locals refused to speak of after dark. They called it the Whispering Cave, a place where eerie murmurs and inexplicable sounds had been heard for generations. The Forbidden Place. No one could recall when the first story about the cave was told, but every family in Tafrao knew someone who had heard, or worse, encountered, something unnatural there. Shepherds who wandered too close claimed to hear whispers slithering from the cavern's depths, their words unintelligible yet disturbingly familiar. Some said the whispers called their names, luring them inside. Others who dared to venture in were never the same after they returned, if they returned at all. The Skeptic's Challenge. Yassine was a young man from the village who never put stock in old legends. He was a rational thinker, always dismissing such tales as mere superstition. Determined to prove the stories false, he made a bold decision: he would enter the Whispering Cave at midnight and record everything. Armed with a flashlight, a camera, and his phone, he set off into the cold night, his breath visible under the pale moonlight. The cave entrance loomed before him, a gaping black maw in the side of the mountain. The moment he stepped inside, an unnatural chill enveloped him. The air was thick, almost suffocating, carrying a faint, musty scent of damp earth and something else. Something rotting. Voices in the darkness. As he moved deeper, the flashlight beam flickered. The cavern walls were smooth yet strangely damp to the touch, as if they were breathing. Yassine paused to adjust his camera when he heard it. A whisper. At first, he thought it was just the wind, but then it came again. Clearer. Closer. Leave. His heart pounded. He swept his flashlight around but saw nothing. He forced a chuckle. Just my mind playing tricks on me. But as he took another step, the whisper returned, this time more urgent, more insistent. Leave before it's too late. Panic clawed at his chest. He turned to head back, but the tunnel behind him now seemed longer than before, stretching into an abyss of darkness. His breath quickened. His phone screen glowed faintly, flickering before dying completely. Then came the laughter. Low, guttural, and inhuman. It came from deeper within the cave. Or perhaps, all around him. Trapped. Yassine broke into a sprint, but with each step, the cave seemed to shift. The exit he was sure had been right behind him was gone. Walls twisted, corridors narrowed, and the air grew heavier, pressing down on his lungs. The whispers became a cacophony, overlapping, rising, until they were screaming. His head throbbed as a shadowy figure flickered in the periphery of his vision. He turned, and for a brief, heart-stopping moment, he saw it, a towering silhouette, its eyes burning like embers, its mouth twisted into something that could not be called a smile. He fell backward, hands scraping against the wet stone. The figure moved closer without a sound. Yassine squeezed his eyes shut and did the only thing he could think of: he began to recite verses from the Quran, his voice trembling. At first, nothing happened. The whispers hissed in protest. The shadow loomed over him. Then, a deafening roar filled the cavern, shaking the very ground beneath him. And suddenly, silence. The escape. When Yassine opened his eyes, he was lying outside the cave, gasping for air. His phone buzzed beside him, screen intact and displaying the time, 3 a.m. He had no memory of how he got out, only that he was there, shivering in the cold night. He never spoke of what happened inside the cave. He left Tafrao soon after, never to return. But those who lived in the village noticed something different about him. His once carefree eyes now held a lingering fear, as if he had glimpsed something no man was meant to see. And to this day, if you listen closely near the mouth of the cave, just as the wind dies down, you might hear it. A whisper. Waiting for the next visitor.